Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Showgirl Tip of the Day podcast, where we talk about show business, old friends, and new adventures. Today's podcast is a very interesting and important topic. How not to work for free. Yes, there are benefits for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. There are times when you can volunteer your time willingly and gladly. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about red flags and things that producers will ask you to do that you have every right to say no to, and you have every right not to take a job that doesn't pay. So a friend of mine tagged me on Facebook this morning and told me about a job. And this job was basically looking for performers to do gig work, which means a special event comes up and they need some singers. They wanted people to be part of this group. I'm not going to say the name. So I read the description and it said, generally you rehearse 2 to 3 hours every week. Rehearsals are unpaid. At that point, I was like, wait, what? So I posted an answer back to my friend's recommendation and I pointed out that fact. I said, you know what? It says here that you rehearse 2 to 3 hours a week and rehearsals are unpaid. No thanks. This is not something I'm interested in. And the actual producer wrote back and went into this long explanation about how, quote, they are not Disneyland and that the money comes from the gigs. So that's why they can't pay for rehearsals, because they get money when they have a gig. And I wrote back and I said, yes, but why aren't you paying your performers for their rehearsal time? Because if you show up at a specific time and place, if you're asked to show up to spend several hours on a specific day, that sounds like work to me. And you can't earn money while you're doing that rehearsal, unless you have some sort of passive income situation. But while you're busy rehearsing, you can't be working for anybody else. So anybody that requires my time, I bill them for that time. That is not time that I'm willing to give someone, especially when they're asking you to learn specific material. I'm getting a little worked up here. So then I said to this producer, I said, well, I'm sure you book a studio. I'm sure you rent a space to rehearse. And I'm sure you pay for that space. Or do you tell the owners of the space, oh, this is for a rehearsal and not a paid gig, and don't pay? Of course not. You pay for that because it's a bill, right? And you pay for your phone and your website and all the other things that are business expenses. So why are you asking the performers to do work for free? And we went back and forth. And then finally I said, I wish you all the best, but this is your business, but please consider paying. Please consider adding into your budget as a producer money so you can pay people for their rehearsal time. So my point of this podcast today is read everything very, very, very carefully when you're offered to do something. Don't work for free, unless, of course, you're rich and you don't need money to live. But I don't know about you, but I have expenses. I'm heating my house today on this cold January day, and that oil, they don't come to my house and deliver the oil for free. I have to pay for it. Read everything carefully. If there's anything that sets off alarm bells within you, pay attention to that. So I just interviewed Roger Preston Smith, who is a veteran Broadway national tour. He has done every sort of job that there is. And we talk very much about actors' intuition or his intuition as a person. That's going to be next week's podcast. And I just think that we all need to listen to that inner voice, trust it. And if something doesn't seem right to you, don't take a job, especially if you have to travel and leave your home. You don't want to be away somewhere under conditions that are not good. So we're going to do a deep dive into unions and into why being a union member is so important. There are many unions. There's Screen Actors Guild, there's Actors Equity, there's AFTRA. Well, no, SAG-AFTRA merged. I meant AGMA or AGVA, the Radio City Music Hall. There's the Musicians Union. All of these unions were created. Actors Equity is 102, I think. It might even be 103. It was created so that performers can be protected from being taken advantage of. You don't want anyone to take advantage of you. And by that, I mean, we all have individual boundaries. We have things that we will and will not accept. And if you work for an organization or something that is not paying you enough, trying to have you work for free, going outside of what is contracted, then that's an issue. Safety is, of course, the most important issue. Over the holiday break, on Facebook, I saw one of my former students had a job at one of the country's theme parks. Again, I won't say the name because I don't want to get sued, but she posted, we're going into our 8th day without a break, so I'm baking cookies because I feel we all could use a little sugar. And I thought to myself, 8 days without a break. Yes, it's the holidays, but what about 2 casts so you can rotate people in and out and switch days off for people so that people can rest? 8 days of doing shows, no break. I actually wonder how long it was without a break. Was it 14 days? Was it 21 days? Who knows? But what I'm trying to say to all of you is what we do as entertainers, it is glorious, it is fun, but it's work. It's hard work. And we all have sacrificed years of training. We have lived through very lean times in between jobs. So when we do get a job, we expect to be compensated and compensated at a living wage and a fair wage. Why do we have to entertain other people and live like a pauper? It's not right.
Wow, so I was pretty fired up there, but I feel like I'm justified in being so. If you want more information, go to the union's websites. SAG-AFTRA has a wonderful podcast that you do not have to be a member to listen to the podcast. Actors Equity has a website for future members' information. Ask your friends who are in the unions. Also, you are always able to negotiate. If someone gives you an offer, you can always counter. Advocate for yourself. And remember, I'm advocating for all of us because I love what we do and I think it's a profession. It's not a hobby. Have a great day, everybody.
The Showgirl Tip of the Day podcast has original music composed by Joshua Holloway. Find him on YouTube, Joshua Holloway Music. This podcast is written by Michelle Bruckner and edited by Michelle Bruckner and Joshua Holloway. Find me on Instagram, Showgirl Tip of Day. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week with a new episode.